Well, good morning. I'm Pete Najarian. This is the Take for Market Rebellion. This is part two because we had a little bit of an issue on the first round, but we're going to go through this really rapidly. And if we look back to yesterday, let's just look at what a choppy day we started out with as we pushed to the downside early, maybe get into the middle of the morning, late morning. We started to push to the lows of the day, both in the Dow and the NASDAQ. Then suddenly accelerated to the upside. But the real story of the day, the final 30 minutes, and we've talked about this many times in the past, it's been that final 30, 45, maybe even 2 hours of the day where we just see these unbelievable moves, downside and upside. But we've certainly seen a lot more to the upside, especially when we're talking about the Dow, because the Dow set another new level and it also just underneath 33,000 yesterday. So a really nice performance from the Dow, up about 0.5%. Matter of fact, you look over at the NASDAQ really started to take off. And when that took off, actually finished up about 140 points. The reopen trade was certainly what took over the day. And when you go through it and you look at cruise ships and you look at casinos and you look at a lot of the different areas, even those high PE, no PE names, we started to see a little bit of movement to the upside. We also saw volatility absolutely get smacked. Lowest levels, very, very close to 52-week lows yesterday on the lowest side for the volatility index, which continues to surprise me to some degree, but a day like today where we're a little bit flatter and now we're starting to move around a little bit, it makes some sense that, you know what, with the movement that we're getting of late, other than those late moves in the day, I guess the volatility index is pretty accurate at this point in time. So as I say, we had the casinos, it was Las Vegas Sands, MGM, those kind of names. We also had, names like Carnival Cruise, they were moving to the upside, but it was just a really interesting day, I think, overall, because of the fact we still had decent volume, about 38 million. Only two names actually got up and above that million contract range. So a really pretty broad participation yesterday. Today, on the other hand, the Dow heading to the downside. It was down 70 not too long ago. Last I looked, it was down about 140. And then I look over at the NASDAQ and we've got this dislocation once again. And the NASDAQ moving to the upside, actually pretty strong. It was up about 115. Now it's up about 150. Volatility remains in that same sort of range, right underneath 20, and we are hovering right around those lows, as I say, 52-week lows for the volatility index. You know what that means? Opportunities in the options market. That's what we're looking for, is those opportunities that we see in the option market, because as volatility comes down, that means a little less premium that you're having to pay. Understand that, and if you don't understand what I'm talking about, check out the crew over at Market Rebellion. We got the best educators in the business. Financials, energy, those names definitely were leading to the downside with technology. That's really the story of the day, moving to the upside. We've had some nice moves lately out of the biotechs. We've had some great moves recently. Yesterday, as a matter of fact, the SMH up about 2%. So we are seeing this display of why the NASDAQ is either working or not each day, as well as the Dow itself. And financials certainly have been a big portion of what's really been cranking with the Dow, along with some of those industrials. And we're seeing a little bit of pressure today. So got two different unusuals, and we're going to jump out of here. Churchill Capital, CCIV. Now, this one hit today. It's trading right around 31.50 at the time. We had a buyer of the March 32 calls, 5,000 of those getting bought between $1.60 and $2.60. Now, remember that. It's $1.60 to $2.60. Stock was trading around 31.50. So you've got to take a look and see where things are and see if a whole lot has changed. And if so, maybe got to move on to the next one. I'll move on to the second one. Las Vegas Sands. We're also seeing activity again. This is a little bit of a extra something. MGM as well, but LVS really stood out. 11,000 of the April 70s were bought. Those were bought for about $1.75. Interesting part about this was a very aggressive move for a bullish trade here. They're buying the 70s. They're selling the 75s. They're also selling a downside put. If that's too confusing, don't worry about that. What we're seeing is a very bullish trade, specifically these April 70 calls. As I say, 11,000 of those bought for about $1.75. Folks, again, knowledge is king. You've got to understand that knowledge. Have a great day of trading. It's going to be another wonderful day. I will see you tomorrow right back here at 9:30 Central Standard Time for the take. But until then, and by the way, tomorrow I will be on the halftime report. Until then, have a great day of trading. We'll see you soon.